Welcome to Thessaloniki's Christmas decorations tour. This isn't just another walking video, it's a practical city Christmas visit guide. We'll keep narration short and clear, give you simple tips for each area, then step back so you can enjoy the lights, music, and real street ambience. We begin our Thessaloniki Christmas walk here, at the northern end of Aristotelous Square, right next to Agias Street, in the heart of the Christmas Village. Before we dive in, a quick note about how these tours work. In each chapter, we'll share the essentials and a few local tips. Then we'll step back and let you enjoy the atmosphere with Christmas music and the natural city sounds. At the start of every new chapter, we'll repeat the practical information you need so you can simply relax and follow along. Around us, the upper part of Aristoteles has transformed into a festive village. Rows of wooden houses, twinkling lights, a classic carousel turning slowly, and stalls with sweets, snacks, and hot drinks. From early December until after Epiphany, this becomes one of the liveliest corners of Thessaloniki, especially for families with children. You can wander freely between the chalets. You only pay for the rides and whatever you choose to eat or drink. Keep in mind that this is as central as it gets. We're only a short walk from 2 metro stations on the new Thessaloniki Metro Line 1, Venizelou Agias Sofias, making it very easy to get here from almost anywhere in the city. Buses and taxis also stop all around the square, so if you're watching this before your trip, think of Aristoteles as your main reference point. Take a moment to look around. The mix of locals and visitors, from students grabbing a quick snack to grandparents watching their grandchildren on the rides. Depending on the evening, you may also catch live performances, choirs, or small events on a small stage in the village. If you're visiting with kids, this is a great first stop. Let them enjoy the carousel or pick a warm drink, and then use the square as your base for exploring the rest of the Christmas lights in Thessaloniki. And one last practical tip before we move on. In the description of this video, you'll find a link to our separate Thessaloniki Metro guide, where we explain in detail how the new metro works, and also a full, non-Christmas walking tour of Thessaloniki that lasts over 2 hours. Those will help you plan the rest of your stay beyond the festive season. For now, enjoy a slow walk through the Christmas village. When you're ready, we'll continue together towards Tsimiski Street and the rest of the city's decorations. Leaving the Christmas village behind us, we cross busy Egnatias Street and start walking downhill back towards the sea. We're still on the Aristotelous axis, but this time our goal is to reach Tsimiski Street, one of Thessaloniki's main shopping avenues. At night, the atmosphere completely changes. Shop windows glow with Christmas displays, and the buildings along Aristotelous are outlined by warm lights. This is a good moment to slow down your pace, let the camera drift and simply enjoy the rhythm of the city. If you're here during the day, remember that just a block to our right is Kapani Market, Thessaloniki's oldest open public market. It's a fantastic place for fresh produce, spices, and traditional food stalls, and a great way to see everyday local life beyond the Christmas decorations. Ahead of us is Tsimiski. In a moment, we'll turn left and show you the line of decorations along this major shopping street. Before that, a quick note about another central market. Modiano, the historic covered market between Aristotelous and Venizelou, is currently closed again for renovation and maintenance works. In the video description, you'll find a link to our previous year's Christmas walk, where you can see Modiano when it was open and decorated for the holidays. For now, enjoy the night lights. We've now turned onto Tsimiski, Thessaloniki's main commercial artery. During the day, this street is all about shopping, but at Christmas it turns into a glowing corridor of lights and window displays. We step inside the decorated Notos department store. Take a look at the interior lights and seasonal installations. This is one of the few fully indoor Christmas corners in the center, perfect for a short warm-up on a cold evening. Exiting from Notos, we cut across towards Mitropoleos Street and head back in the direction of Aristotelous. This area brings together some of the most photographed facades in Thessaloniki. On one side, you have the Electra Palace Hotel, often dressed in elegant warm lights and sometimes with its own tree or projections. On the other, the Olympian Cafe restaurant facing the square. As we walk, notice how different the feeling is compared to the upper part of the square. Here the lights mix with hotel lounges, cafes, and the glow from the waterfront just a block away, giving you a more sophisticated city break atmosphere. We'll spend a bit more time in the main square in the next chapter. So for now, simply follow the camera as it glides between the grand facades of Aristotelous. We've now reached the lower part of Aristotelos, the main square that opens all the way down to Niki's waterfront. This is usually the postcard view of Thessaloniki, and at Christmas, it's where everyone expects the big tree, the central lights, and the main photo spots. As you can see in this video, at the time we filmed and uploaded it, the square was still a work in progress. Crews were finishing the decorations, some structures were still fenced off, and a few corners felt more like a construction site than a winter wonderland. We would love to tell you that everything is ready from late November, like in many other European cities, but here things often move a bit slower. It is what it is. And if you're visiting slightly later in December, you'll probably see the final version, fully lit and busy. Even if the decorations aren't fully complete yet, this is still the best place to feel the scale of the city. Look back towards the arcades and balconies of Aristotelos, then out towards the sea, and the lights along the promenade. On busier evenings, the square fills with families, couples, and street performers, all using this space as their natural meeting point. We'll leave the main square here and cut across towards Agias Sofias for our next set of decorations. From Aristotelos, we now head a few blocks east to one of Thessaloniki's most atmospheric pedestrian streets at Christmas, Agias Sofias. We begin our walk under the long curtain of lights that stretches above the pedestrianized section. The effect is especially beautiful on slightly foggy or humid nights, when the tiny bulbs seem to float above your head. Take a moment to look up as you walk. This is one of the classic Christmas photos for locals. On our left, slightly set back from the street, is the Church of Hagia Sophia, one of the city's most important Byzantine monuments. By day, it's worth a proper visit for its architecture and mosaics. By night, it provides a calm backdrop to the more playful decorations on the pedestrian street. Along the main axis, you'll see a mix of clothing stores, cafes, and small shops. To the right, several of the side streets lead to bar restaurants and wine bars that become lively later in the evening. You can easily combine a relaxed drink or dinner here with a short Christmas lights walk. We continue straight until we reach Tsimiski again, completing a kind of festive cross between Aristotelos and Hagia Sophia. Our next stop is Ladadika, one of Thessaloniki's most famous nightlife districts, and, in December, one of its most atmospheric places after dark. We start in the lower, more pedestrianized part of Ladadika, close to the port. Here, the narrow, cobbled streets are lined with restored 19th century warehouses that now house tavernas, meze places, cafes, and bars. At Christmas, you'll notice that it's not so much the official city decorations that create the mood, but the lights and trims each business adds to its facade. Strings of warm bulbs, small trees by the doors, wreaths in the windows. As we weave through the streets, look at how different each corner feels. Some places keep it simple with a few lanterns and candles. Others go full festive with giant ornaments, LED curtains and outdoor heaters glowing on the pavement. The mix of Greek music, international hits, and people chatting in different languages makes this area popular with all ages, from students on a low-budget night out to groups celebrating office parties. Moving gradually uphill towards the upper part of Ladadika, the pattern continues. More restaurants with long tables inside, bars spilling out into small squares, and side alleys full of fairy lights. If you're planning an evening in Thessaloniki during the holidays, this is probably the best area to book a table, whether you're after traditional Greek food with live music or a more modern bar restaurant. On Friday and Saturday nights, it's wise to reserve, as many of these places fill up quickly. We'll let the camera guide you slowly through the lower and upper streets, so you can get a feel for which spots you'd like to visit in person. To finish our Thessaloniki Christmas walk, we leave Ladadika and take a brief look at a few more decorated corners of the city center. First, some of the bar-lined stretches of Mitropoleos Street, where smaller venues add their own trees, garlands, and light frames around the doors. These are great spots if you prefer a drink in a slightly quieter setting than Ladadika, but still want that festive glow. We also pass by the tree and decorations at Platea Shopping Mall. Here, you'll usually find a mix of shoppers, families, and people simply enjoying a warm break between walks. Finally, we get a glimpse of the Athonos area with its tavernas and narrow lanes. Even a few simple strings of lights here make the area look extra charming at Christmas. Thanks for walking with us. If you enjoyed this narrated tour, tap subscribe and like. It really helps the channel. For quiet, natural sound walks, check our sister channel City Walk Travels. And if you want more stories, tips, and biographies, explore our audiobooks and ebooks. You'll find all the links in the description. See you on the next walk.